Welcome to the Self-Reliant Living Show, where we talk all about a self-reliant lifestyle to save money, live greener, eat healthier, and be prepared for anything so you can take care of the ones you love in good times and bad. I'm your host, Jennifer Osech, a homeschooling mom of 3 boys. I'm the author of the Preparedness Planner series, and my husband and I are the lead teachers of Self-Reliant School, a website dedicated to giving you the skills and confidence to take care of yourself and your community. Be sure to stop by and pick up your free videos from inside Self-Reliant School that will get you started growing, cooking, and preserving your own food today. You can pick these up at selfreliantschool.com/free. Now, on with the show. Today, we're going to talk about some ways that we can keep active and stay healthy through the cooler months. Because like I said, today at this recording is the first day of fall, and most of our gardens are winding up, at least in the States. I know we have some viewers that are in Australia, so it's kind of the opposite for you guys. And then in Europe, we still have winter coming. But anyway, I wanted to talk about some things that can keep us going and keep us active and healthy. And some of these are going to be some common sense things, and then some of these things maybe you haven't heard of before or haven't thought of recently. So let's just go through them, and hopefully you guys, as we go through them, will share your thoughts about them, and also maybe you can think of some tips that I have left off. So, okay, here we go. The first one is get some sun. And I know that in some parts of this country, the US, that could be hard, especially in the winter months, because there are times, I know even here in Texas, I mean, we do get a fair amount of sun in the winter, but there are some weeks that go by, you know, on top of each other, weeks and weeks, where we have overcast and we don't get a lot of sun. But if you can possibly manage it, that would be one of the best things you could do, is to go out and get at least 10 minutes of sun, even if you have to bundle up. Because the sun will help your body make a vitamin D, and that is going to keep you healthy physically and mentally through the winter. So even if you have to get some coats and scarves and whatever on, try and get some sun, at least on your face, because that, like I said, you have to get the sun on your skin for your body to make the vitamin D. So whenever there's a sunny, crisp winter day, plan on going outside and getting some of that sun. And I know that some people suffer from the winter blues, and then some people even have a more serious condition known as a seasonal affective disorder, which is SAD for short. And so those people might want to consider buying a special light that might help you get some extra light that you need to set your clock, your kind of biological clock, because most of us, you know, if we're not going with the actual time on a clock, most of us will still wake up in the daytime and then get sleepy at night. So you want to keep that as regular as possible, and the way to do that is get some light in the daylight or the daytime hours. So that is the number one thing. It's just really simple, and it's free, and you can do it fairly easily. Even if you have to schedule it, though, just, you know, watch the weather maybe the night before, and if you know it's going to be sunny, plan on going outside at least for a couple of minutes. Okay, so the second one is move around. And again, I know this is common sense, but the thing is that a lot of us, especially like me, I spend a good amount of time in front of the computer because I'm editing videos, and I'm writing, and I'm doing all this stuff. I've spent a fair amount of time in the kitchen as well, but they sort of go in batches. You know, I'll take a couple of days and I'll write something, and then I'll go and work in the kitchen. And I noticed the difference. I noticed the shift from, you know, being sedentary and then going and doing a lot of active work. So if you are like that and you have times that you are sit a lot, then you need to be conscious of actually taking a break and being a little bit more active, even if it means, just walking around your house. If it's cold outside, maybe you have some plants going or something, go and check on them, play with your dog or your pet, something like that. Even just so super simple, something that will get your your blood flowing and just not sitting in the same position for hours and hours on end. Because this is a lot easier in the summer months when you have a garden going and you want to be outside and all of that, but in the winter it gets tricky. So even if you have limited mobility, you still need to think about being active for a certain amount of the day, because if you have limited mobility, you just don't want to lose the mobility that you have. So you still need to get out there and do some exercise or just activity. It doesn't even have to be actual exercise. Of course, that would be the next step, is to actually exercise. And the best way I have found to do that is with somebody else, because if they're waiting on you, it's going to be a whole lot harder to say, no, I can't do it today. So that will give you some accountability and hopefully keep you on track. So that is something that I highly recommend. And both of those things are free. You don't have to invest in something, to go and do those and keep yourself healthy throughout the cooler months when you're not working, like I said, outside in your garden or doing other things outside. Okay. So I alluded to this for just a second. Misty is saying, yes, you can take a vitamin D supplement. You may be surprised that if you do take a supplement, though, it's not going to work in quite the same way. So there's nothing like your body making natural vitamin D. So just keep that in mind. And if you go out in the sun, like I said, that's free. If you buy a supplement, that's going to cost some money. So, okay. And then Barbara said there's something that needs to be done outside always, year-round for her. So that's a good thing. Okay, and I alluded to this one just a minute ago, but I'm going to go into it a little bit more in detail here, because this is probably one of the things that you might not have thought of, and that is to grow some plants, even indoors. And the reason for this is because we're combating the, not being as active and not being as healthy, and also a little bit the winter blues. But if you plant things, there's an old saying that says, planting a garden is having hope and believing in the future. So if you're nurturing something through the winter, then you're in a better mood. You have that nurturing kind of mentality, and you want to see your plants through to maturity. So that's just something that's going to lift your spirits. And then also that will help you, like I said, have something to go check on when you're sitting down and have something to take care of. So many people can grow tomatoes and herbs, even in their windowsills, throughout the winter. I know some areas do get a little colder, so you would probably want to pick a windowsill that faces the sun in the winter, because some of them don't ever see. It depends on where you live and how your house is facing. So you're going to want to pay attention to that so that they don't get super cold, especially at night, and then they can get a fair amount of sun in the daytime. And then if you don't have a window like that, if you live so far north that that's really not possible, or you don't think they will do well, you can always invest in a grow light, and that is a relatively inexpensive thing to invest in, especially just to grow a couple of plants. And then, of course, if you are a member of Self-Reliant School, we have a hydroponics e-course that you definitely should check out for growing things indoors this winter. So that is, that's one that you might not have thought of before, but I really believe that keeps up your spirits, because we're talking healthy, we're talking mentally and physically, and I think that is one that can help both. So, okay, so I'm getting a lot of people talking to each other in the comments, and I love that. That is just, it makes me feel so privileged to be part of this community, and for you guys to be here. I'm just so excited about that. So we're going to move on to the next one, my next tip, and that is to I don't want to say experiment, but maybe experiment with some natural remedies, or if you already have some natural remedies that work for you, to be sure and take those and to nurture those in terms of making sure you have enough and making sure you have, supplies that you need to make those and all of that throughout the winter. And so the thing is that oftentimes your consumption of over-the-counter medicine goes up during the winter months. So if you have those herbal remedies, those natural remedies on hand to combat that, then you are going to do so much better in terms of not taking as much of over-the-counter medication. So anyway, okay, and the thing is that if you do take herbal remedies, then herbal remedies can sometimes have side effects, but not as much as over-the-counter remedies, or over-the-counter medications, I should say. Natural remedies have less side effects, so just keep that in mind. And because sometimes taking the medication over-the-counter can be worse, than the actual condition, that the side effects can be worse than the actual condition that you're taking the medication for. So that is frustrating, I know, for a lot of people. So, and then Bill's over here waving at me saying, hey, you skipped number 4. So let me go back to number 4. Natural remedies was actually number 5. So let me do number 4, which I don't think I put in my notes. So that's probably the reason I skipped it. But that is to pamper yourself. And the thing is that that sounds like a weird one too, right? Something that you probably didn't think of or wouldn't think of is pampering yourself. But see, the thing is that when you do take time to pamper yourself, now I'm not talking about going like on a Twinkie binge or something like that where, oh, I'm getting this special treat. I'm not talking about pampering yourself like that. I'm talking about pampering yourself, like taking care of your skin and getting some relaxation, getting enough sleep, those sorts of things. Because if you're taking care of yourself and you're investing time in that, you're less likely to go on that Twinkie binge or to feel blue and depressed and things like that, because you're actually taking time, and you're probably going to feel a whole lot better if you do take a little time to pamper yourself. So I highly recommend doing that. That's going to keep you, again, physically and mentally fit, and your spirits up throughout those colder months. Okay, so now we did number 5. Like I said, I had all these in order, but they're not anymore, but that's okay. I will sort them out for the show notes. And while we're talking, the numbers don't really matter, right? But number 5 was natural remedies, and we talked about that. Okay, so we're going to go on to natural cleaning products. Oh my gosh, well, that is a weird one, right? I'm going to see what you guys are talking about. Michelle's saying, I do not have a green thumb. I tend to kill plants. Okay, so no worries, Michelle. Just, the thing is that when you plant something and you want to take care of it, you have to have, it's like anything else, you have to have some practice. So maybe try some different things that you haven't tried before. And like I said, maybe invest in a grow light. They are not expensive. As a matter of fact, you can get some regular light bulbs that will do just as well. You just have to get maybe like a painter's light, so you can put that special light bulb in there, and I will try and get some links for those in the show notes. Like I said, they're very inexpensive to get started. Okay, and so we're going to go into number 6. I'm on track now. Natural cleaning products. What the heck do I mean by that, and how is that going to keep you active and healthy? Well, let me explain. The thing is that a couple of years ago, well, more than that, I guess, several years, I don't want to date myself, but several years ago now, I was not wanting to really clean my house with chemicals, or even clean really, because I would get congested, and I would get in a bad mood, I would get a headache and all of those sorts of things. And so really when my kids were old enough to start helping is when I had this sort of aha moment and went, oh, I do not want you using this chemical stuff. And then I started to realize that it had been a deterrent for me in cleaning and doing stuff like that. So I did a bunch of research, and I went and I tried to see what natural cleaning methods that I could come up with. And so if you take the time to make some natural cleaning products, and they have some great ones on the market as well. So it's not like you have to make them. You can buy them if there's a time thing going on, or you just you don't want to do all that research. You can go ahead and purchase them. But the thing is that if you don't have to take in all of those chemicals and breathe them all in, and cleaning your house could actually be something that, well, I wouldn't say enjoy, I wouldn't go that far, but something that you don't dread. Cleaning a house is actually a really active thing to do. And so if you don't dread doing it, you can use natural cleaning products so you won't dread doing it, and that will keep you active. And then, I don't know about you, but a clean house always makes me feel better, and so I'm happier when I don't have to breathe in the chemicals, and then I can enjoy my clean house. So that's something that you probably or may not have thought of in terms of keeping active and healthy throughout the colder months, but you're inside anyway, so you might even find it necessary, or maybe you want to do some deep cleaning, and then that will make you even feel better because you will get rid of a lot of clutter and all of that. So it's kind of a, it builds on itself, sort of a snowball effect there. Okay. So number 7, and this is, I'm going to check the comments here. Shelly says she started to make some orange vinegar to use with some baking soda to do some cleaning. Yes, I love that. When I make lemon vinegar too. So, and sometimes I just put all my citrus in there, and I've got this great citrus scent. So that is a great idea. I love that. Okay, so here's another one. Make some new recipes. Now, I am not a huge fan of any particular diet. I don't really believe in going on a diet per se. I have been on so many throughout my life that at this point I am saying to myself and to everybody else that will listen, right, that I don't believe diets are really healthy, because in the end they're not really sustainable. Depending on, when I'm saying diet, I mean rigid diet where you can only eat this or only eat that, and that's the kind of diet that I'm talking about here. I'm not referring to diet as in your total consumption of the things that you eat, maybe seasonal diet or something like that. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about a regimented diet that people write books on and say, okay, we can only do it this way and this way and this way and eat this and all of that. Okay, so I hope that's clear as to what I mean by diet. So, and recently, I'm getting older, right? I don't want to date myself again. I don't feel that old, but the numbers keep creeping up. But as I get older, I do feel like when I eat too much sugar, I don't feel very good. And so I have discovered Trim Healthy Mama. I don't know if you guys have heard of that. It's a book, but it's not really a diet. What they do is they focus on eating certain groups of food at one time, and then maybe the next meal switching to another group of foods. They believe in eating fats together, and then not eating any carbs at that meal, but then the next meal, then eat carbs, and then maybe do a low-fat situation on the next meal. So I have discovered that, and by putting some of those principles into place, I feel much better, so because I'm not having those sugar spikes. And of course, we all know too much sugar is bad for you, but here I'm really talking about even natural sugar. So, the kind that's found in fruit and things like that. So that's something that, if you are noticing that you're not feeling really well or don't have energy like you used to, you might want to start thinking about those things, because we get insulin resistance as we get older. So that's something that you might want to think of. And my family and I had been vegetarian for many years until I started noticing this, and that is when we decided that there was something I needed to do something else because I wasn't feeling well. And so, not saying anything against being vegetarian. I feel like that if it's done well, it's still a healthy way to eat, but I don't think I was doing it to the degree that I needed to, and so that's the reason we decided to switch from that. But take this time, when you are indoors and when you are in the kitchen more, to really think about what you're eating and how it's affecting you. And so if you make some new recipes and you start feeling better, then there might be something to that and something worth exploring. Okay, so we're going to move on to the next. Barbara says she actually loves cleaning. Well, Barbara, that's great. I'm glad there's somebody out there that does. I try to, I really enjoy it once I'm done, but I don't know about actually doing it. But there's degrees of, not dreading it. I like the part that, I'm not dreading it because I know that I'm not going to feel bad while I'm doing it or afterwards. So, moving on. Okay, so this is another one that is maybe you haven't thought of before, and that's to keep a journal, because you really want to know what's working for you. And then when you do get busy, maybe next spring or in the summer, you're going to want to know, what were those meals that were making me feel really good, and what kinds of things did I do that made me have a lot of energy, and maybe, you're super tired in the summer. So you want to keep a journal of what was working so you can know what was working and then keep to that when, you don't have as much time to reflect or to try other things. So that's something. And then, of course, if there's things that don't work, you'll know so you can avoid them in the future. So that's one of the things that, and I know that takes a lot of time. And so I'm not even talking about like writing every single thing out. It can just be bullet points, or it could just be, a lot of people keep a journal through images. So you could do something like that, because I know when I look at certain images, they jog my memory about this, that, and the other. So maybe you take a picture of what you're cooking in the kitchen, or what kind of natural remedy you made, and that will jog your memory as to whether it worked for you or not. So it doesn't have to be anything elaborate or time-consuming. Just, take a minute to jot something down or to note it somehow. Okay, so another thing that will help you stay happy, healthy, and active through the winter months, or the cooler months, I should say, is to plan for the future. And this is kind of like keeping a journal, because that's why you're keeping a journal, so you can know what works and what doesn't. But if you're actually planning for the future and you're investing time and effort in that, in planning for the future and thinking about the future, then you're less likely to be tempted in the moment. And, that could be, like I said, tempted by a Twinkie or a ding dong or whatever it is that you're tempted by. Hopefully it's none of those things. Hopefully it's something more extravagant than that. But still, you won't be as tempted in the moment if you have made a commitment to eat less sugar or eat less fat or eat less whatever it is that you feel like needs to happen in your life. And so if you are planning for the future and planning like for the next growing season, then you're also going to plan to grow some healthier things. I can't think of too many things that are unhealthy to grow, but you're going to plan the things to grow that will help you prepare healthier meals too. So that's something. And the healthy meals that you like. Okay, so in just a second, I am going to tell you how to get my gardening planner for free, and that is something you can use to plan. So also, while we're talking about planning, I want to mention that if you plan out menus and you know what you're going to eat and you know what you're going to do, like I alluded to before with the exercise, and you have somebody waiting for you, so that's a plan, right? So you're less likely to say, I can't do it today. But if you plan out your menus as well, you know what you're going to eat, and so you're less likely to go and order a pizza or whatever it is that you like to order takeout. Okay, so and then saying that, though, I want to say this as well, because even though we make the best plans and we want to keep to those plans, the best thing you can do if you do sort of fall off the wagon is to get right back on that plan. And so that's something that is easier said than done. I know, because sometimes it depresses me when it's like, I'm going to do this and I'm going to do it for 3 weeks, and then 2 weeks and I'm like, oh, I shouldn't have done that. And so the best thing is to get right back on the plan. Next opportunity that you can, either exercise or eating or doing something mentally healthy, whatever it is that you've committed to. And then also, before I leave this planning sort of tip, I want to say that you also need to plan to treat yourself. So if there is some special dish that your family likes to have at Thanksgiving or Christmas or something like that, then go ahead and plan for that, because if that's in your plan and you're planning on doing that, then you are less likely to go overboard, and you'll just have that treat. It's in your plan, you're going to do it, and you have it planned. And like I said, it's not going to be a devastating type of event, right, where you just throw everything to the wind. Okay, and then my final tip is helping others. Now this is, again, you wouldn't think of this as being something to help you stay active and healthy throughout the winter months, but some people, like I said, have a little bit more time on their hands. They're not gardening or doing other things that are usually outdoors. If you help others, well, let me just say that helping others makes me happy. I mean, I just feel good when I help other people. And so that is something that is a state of mind. If I am happy, then I am less likely to deviate from my other plans, from my exercise or from eating healthy. If I'm just in a happy mood, so that is something that will keep you healthy mentally, is just to help others. Because I know, like I said, that makes me really, really happy. And like I said, I just have a feel good feeling all day, and sometimes throughout the week. If I can really make a difference to somebody, then that just makes me feel so good inside. And then, like I said, I'm happy all around. So I'm just going to continue to do what's going to make me happy in terms of the long term, and helping myself. Because you can't forget that it's great to help other people, and you should do that. But then if you help yourself, you're more able to help other people. And so it's a snowball effect there. Okay, so I want to tell you about a spectacular resource that's going to help you with all of these things that I just went over. And it's going to help you be active and keep living a healthy lifestyle throughout the winter and fall months. And that is, I am so happy to recommend the Healthy Living Bundle by Ultimate Bundles. And you can get my gardening planner for free. I'm just going to give it to you. And you can find out more about the bundle and how to get the free planner if you go to selfreliantschool.com/HLB. Okay, so let me just talk to you a little bit about this bundle, because you're probably going, why do you talk about bundle? I don't know what that is. Okay, so what a bundle is a collection of digital material. And this particular bundle has 58 e-courses and printables. That's a lot. And 25 e-courses, videos, and audios. That's a lot too. Okay, so if you were to go and buy each one of these things individually, you would spend over $2,000. If you were to go to each of these authors' websites, then you're going to spend, you're going to spend $2,000, over $2,000 if you were just to go and buy these individually. And then what they've done is like I said, it's this big bundle. You get it all together. But not only do you get these digital resources, you also get some bonuses. And these are from companies, and they are products that you can order, often the full size, not like a trial size or anything. And all you would do is pay the shipping on those. So it's like a super, super good deal. And those bonuses total up over $200. So that's a lot. I'm just saying that's a really good deal, because you could get all of this for under $30. It's $29.97, right? So $30. So let me just go through really quick all of these tips, because I want to point out something. All of these tips that I have mentioned, there is a resource in the bundle to help you further with those things. Okay, so like number one, get some sun. And you could go to the Jumpstart for your urban farm by Greg Peterson. And if you went to his site, it would be $67. And Greg is a great person. I love what he's doing. If you have not been to his site, you need to go over there and look. I'm trying to get him on the show too, so there's that. But his course is $67 just in and of itself. So if you just wanted that course, that would pay for the whole bundle, right? Okay, so, but let me go on to my next tip, which was move around. Well, there is a course in the bundle, and it's TV Time Action Pack. And so you can exercise while you're watching TV, and that retails for $29.97. So again, it's the same price as everything together, right? Okay, and then growing some plants, there's My Gardening Planner. You can plan for that, and that is a $19.97 value that I'm just going to give to you. If you buy the bundle through my link, I'm just going to give you My Gardening Planner for free. Okay, pamper yourself. Okay, so there's a resource in the bundle called Get Glowing. And then if you went to that site and just bought that resource, it would be $13.97. Okay, so then there's another one, Natural Remedies. That's the next tip. Well, Cammie McBride, she was on last week if you guys caught that show. She has a course, Herbal Tea Kickstart Guide, that's in there, and it retails for $147. So that right there, I mean, that's a no-brainer for that one. But I love what Cammie's doing. Like I said, she was on the show last week. Her stuff is top-notch, and I highly recommend all of her resources. So check that out if you do decide to buy this bundle, because it's wonderful. I love Tammy. Okay, so the next one is natural cleaning products. And there in the bundle, there is a resource called DIY Non-Toxic Cleaning Recipes. And that's a great one because, you know, I did a lot of research when I first started relying on natural cleaning products, right? I had to get all the recipes and everything together. Well, there's a book right there for you. And that retails on her site for $19.99. Okay, so then make some new recipes. There is Elio, it's an Easy and Paleo together, but it's called Easy Paleo Instant Pot Recipes. And the thing is that I know there's a lot of people out there who've just gotten an Instant Pot, or maybe want one for Christmas or something like that. And so that is a great resource. And they're all going to be the low carb variety because it's a paleo emphasis or focus. So in her book is $14.99 if you were to go to her site. Keep a journal. So there's a health and wellness planner in this bundle, and that retails for $4. So you get that inside the bundle. Then plan for the future. There is a resource called Creating Wealth, and that retails for $22. Okay, so and then my final tip, helping others, there's an e-course called Tools for Teaching Toxicity. So this is going to explain why it's better to clean with natural products, or avoid chemicals anywhere you can. It's going to explain some things to you, and then maybe if you know better and you're talking to a friend, you'll be able to explain in detail why you feel the way you do. And so I feel like that's helping others. So all together, if you just bought those 10 things that I recommend to keep you healthy and happy and active through the cooler months, you would pay $535. So you get all of those plus a lot more that I didn't even mention for $30. So again, like I said, I feel like that this is a complete no-brainer in terms of if you are interested in this subject, then this would be a great resource for you to pick up. Okay. One other thing I wanted to say, because you're probably going, well, why the heck, if all of this is so valuable, how can they offer it for $30 and what's going on here? So let me just talk about that for a second. The thing is that all of the people that are involved in this bundle, all of the authors, they're not in it first and foremost for the money. I mean, they need to be paid for what they do. That goes without saying. But the reason that they are interested in these subjects and they write about these subjects with such passion is to help other people. I mean, it's just as simple as that. That's the reason I'm here, is because I want to help other people and build a community. And these authors and researchers want to do the same thing. And so they have come together for a very short time. It's not even a week, it's just 6 days. And they are offering their resources to help, because that is what they're here for, really. I mean, that's the number one thing. And then also, it's a great way for them to get their name out there in terms of finding people that think the same way that they do, or maybe need their help or something like that. So that's the reason that they're doing this, is to come together to help, and then to show people that there's somebody there that can help you if you're concerned with this particular thing. So I want to mention that in terms of this is the reason that we can, or they, the Ultimate Bundle people, can put it on sale for such a low price and then give you so much value. Like I said, they are, they're just wanting to help. And that's just, like I said, the bottom line. Now, again, if you buy this bundle and you use my link, then I am just going to give you my gardening planner, because I feel like that's a great thing for you to have over the winter months, that you can just sit and plan and, go through it once, and then, maybe make changes as you go. And it's just something fun to do, and something that I hope will keep your spirits up. So, like I said, I am just going to give that to you if you buy the bundle through my link. Okay, so if you are just joining me, I want to say, or if you've just joined us in the middle, I want to introduce myself again. I am Jennifer, and I am from selfreliantschool.com. And like I said, this is going to be a quick sale, a fast sale. So go to selfreliantschool.com/HLB to take advantage of it. Okay, so remember, being self-reliant, we talked about this earlier too, being self-reliant is not about being selfish. It is about taking care of yourself so that you can take care of the ones that you love. Take care until we talk again. I'm so glad you could join me today. Here's what to do next. Head over to selfreliantlife.tv to pick up the show notes for this episode and to watch replays of older episodes. To go directly to the show notes for this episode, go to selfreliantlife.tv, and then without a space, type a / and then the number of today's episode. You can watch this show live every Thursday at 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific, live on Facebook or the Periscope app. Don't forget to stop by selfreliantschool.com/free to get your free Self-Reliant School videos that will help you get started living a self-reliant life. Also, if you're listening to this show as a podcast and you've liked what you've heard today, please subscribe through Stitcher, iTunes, or your favorite podcast app. If you're on a mobile device, just search for the Self-Reliant Living Show. If you're on a laptop or desktop, just go to selfreliantlife.tv/iTunes. And while you're there, please leave a review. I love to hear from you. You leaving feedback makes it easier for others that are interested in living a self-reliant life to find my podcast. Take care until we talk again.